Napoleon died of natural causes as announced officially, but how could a mighty conqueror succumb to death in such a helpless scenario? Or was he a victim of the New World Order for making France economically strong and self-sufficient? Today, we are on a detective spree to uncover the mystery of Napoleon's death with logical theories that will make you believe the opposite. Are you ready? So, wear your detective hats and grab your magnifying glasses to unfold the mysteries behind the death of one of the world's most powerful conquerors, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon's rise to power. Born in Corsica, his ambition and military brilliance would carve an unparalleled path through the annals of history. His ascent to power commenced amidst the tumult of the French Revolution. A young artillery officer turned revolutionary hero, his strategic acumen swiftly elevated him. The chaos of the era provided him a stage, where his victories at Toulon and the Italian campaigns captivated a nation in turmoil. Napoleon's military brilliance knew no bounds. From the snow-covered fields of Austerlitz to the scorching deserts of Egypt, his tactical genius reshaped the very fabric of warfare. Each victory etched his name deeper into the scrolls of history, solidifying his reputation as a master tactician. Amidst the echoes of conquest, Napoleon crowned himself emperor, ascending to a pinnacle of power unparalleled in France's history. His ambitions soared as he extended his influence across Europe, leaving a legacy that echoed far beyond the borders of his empire. Napoleon's meteoric rise from an obscure Corsican officer to the Emperor of the French reshaped the very landscape of Europe. His military exploits and political prowess forged an empire that altered the course of history forever. Establishment of the State Bank of France. Upon assuming power as first consul on November 9, 1799, Napoleon's inaugural act was the establishment of the Banque de France on January 18, 1800. Operating as a joint stock company that commenced activities on February 20th of the same year. This financial institution supplanted the influence of 15 predominantly Jewish private banking houses that had been deeply entrenched in the events leading up to the French Revolution of 1789-1799, often misconstrued as the Jewish Revolution against the French populace. Through legislative measures, Napoleon wielded considerable influence over the banking landscape. An Act of Parliament on April 14, 1803, revoked the rights of two rival banks, the Caisse d'Escompte de Commerce and the Comptoir Commercial, to issue banknotes. Subsequently, on April 22, 1806, a new act was enacted, replacing the existing three-member Central Committee with a governor and two deputy governors, all personally vetted by Napoleon. This legislation also augmented the bank's capital to 90 million francs. Napoleon's centralized control over monetary policy empowered him as his banker, effectively governing the creation and dissemination of money and credit. This autonomy marginalized international financiers, notably the Rothschilds, restricting their operational reach within continental markets. Under his stewardship, Napoleon successfully elevated the franc to be the most stable currency across Europe. Why was Napoleon targeted? Under Napoleon's governance, the introduction of a new commercial code in 1804 marked a transformative era for France. These economic reforms, an integral part of the Code Napoleon, included significant tax reductions. The ensuing impact was swift, ushering in a notable turnaround for the French economy. Trade flourished, and burgeoning industries such as cotton making and sugar beet production were stimulated, aided by protective tariffs against foreign goods and the facilitation of low-interest rate loans. Notably, the scale of infrastructure development under Napoleon's rule was monumental, not confined solely to France, but extending across Western Europe. An extensive network of roads, totaling 20,000 miles of imperial roads and 12,000 miles of regional roads, was constructed. Nearly 1,000 miles of canals, bridges, and ambitious projects, such as the dredging and expansion of harbors like Cherbourg and Dunkirk, reshaped transportation and commerce. This significant infrastructural overhaul, encompassing waterworks and public works such as the Louvre Gallery, found financial backing through interest-free funding from the Banque de France. Napoleon's vision for industrial advancement materialized through the establishment of the Industrial Board, which served as a repository of vital data and information for French industries. Simultaneously, the Imperial University, entrusted with the administration of French education, fostered specialized schools and lycées devoted to the study of engineering, sciences, and technology. Professional institutions were dedicated to midwifery, obstetrics, and veterinary science. Napoleon's first exile to the island of Elba. Napoleon decided to invade Russia on 24th of June 1812 with an army of over 500,000 soldiers. Although he reached Moscow on 14th of September 1812, he found that it had been abandoned, and the subsequent winter retreat turned into a major disaster, with only 110,000 of his original army surviving. The following year, Napoleon was defeated at the Battle of the Nations, east of Leipzig, on 19th October 1813. On 11th April 1814, he abdicated at Fontainebleau. After being banished to the island of Elba, situated between Corsica and Tuscany. After a series of triumphs, Napoleon faced a pivotal moment in his reign. In 1814, his forces suffered a decisive defeat against Russia, a turning point that marked the beginning of the end. In the wake of the brutal campaign against Russia, Napoleon's forces were dealt a crushing blow. The retreat from Moscow and the dwindling numbers of his once mighty army signaled a shift in the tides of war, leading to his abdication in 1814. Following his abdication, Napoleon was exiled to the remote island of Elba in the Mediterranean. It marked the first chapter of his exile, a period of seclusion far removed from the grandeur and power he once commanded. Despite the confines of exile, Napoleon sought to maintain a semblance of authority. He navigated the limitations of his exile, engaging in diplomatic correspondences and plotting potential avenues for a triumphant return to the European stage. Napoleon's comeback. Napoleon's exile on the island of Elba was a mere prelude to a remarkable comeback, one that would echo through history as the 100 Days. In a daring move that defied all odds, Napoleon escaped Elba and returned to France in 1815. His arrival ignited a surge of support, marking the onset of the 100 Days, a brief yet consequential period where he reclaimed power with astonishing swiftness. However, fate had other plans. At the historic Battle of Waterloo, the clash that sealed Napoleon's destiny, his forces faced the combined might of the Allied armies. Despite valiant efforts, defeat loomed large, marking the final chapter of his reign. Following the catastrophic loss at Waterloo, Napoleon surrendered and faced exile once more, this time to the desolate island of St. Helena in the remote South Atlantic. It was here, far from the theaters of war, that he would spend his remaining years in isolation and contemplation. Exile to St. Helena. Napoleon's final chapter unfolded on the unforgiving shores of St. Helena, a remote outpost in the vast South Atlantic. Following the defeat at Waterloo, the once mighty emperor faced a new reality. His captors, wary of any potential escape, orchestrated his final exile to the isolated island of St. Helena in 1815. His life on St. Helena offered a stark contrast to the opulence of his previous existence. Confined to Longwood House, Napoleon spent his days in isolation, surrounded by a small group of people and cut off from the world he once ruled. The harsh terrain and remote location posed numerous challenges. Cut off from political intrigue and the affairs of Europe, Napoleon whiled away his days, pondering his past glories and engaging in intellectual pursuits. The mysterious death, the demise of Napoleon Bonaparte, a figure of unparalleled stature, was overshadowed by an air of mystery that lingered long after his passing. Official accounts state that Napoleon succumbed to stomach cancer on May 5, 1821. Medical reports and contemporary records attest to this explanation, citing prolonged illness and deteriorating health as the cause of his death. Yet, from the moment of his passing, doubts emerged. Conspiracies swirled, suggesting foul play behind the curtain of Napoleon's supposed illness. Rumors of arsenic poisoning and clandestine actions cast a shadow over the official narrative. Assassination plot against Napoleon. As the fog of mystery enveloped Napoleon's death, whispers emerged of covert powers and clandestine agendas woven into the tapestry of his demise. Speculation abounded about the involvement of influential figures like the Rothschilds. Rumors suggested their vested interests in maintaining the prevailing financial order and their aversion to Napoleon's policies on banking and economic reforms. Conspiracy theorists pointed to their alleged role in orchestrating his downfall, weaving a narrative of covert influence. Examination of Napoleon's remains has suggested a probable cause of death as cyanide poisoning due to prolonged arsenic exposure. The involvement of a Rothschild assassin in this scenario aligned with a historical pattern of eliminating leaders advocating or implementing usury-free banking systems. This purported pattern spans 2 centuries, linking the demise of such leaders to orchestrated assassinations. Forensic and historical evidence. Experts and historians remain divided on the cause of Napoleon's death. While some argue in favor of natural causes, others assert the likelihood of foul play, citing historical context and political motivations as compelling factors. Advancements in forensic science have afforded us a deeper understanding. Modern examinations of Napoleon's hair and remains shed light on potential arsenic exposure, hinting at foul play and prompting reconsideration of the circumstances surrounding his demise. Historical records present divergent narratives, creating ambiguity. Conflicting evidence and interpretations persist, contributing to the enigmatic nature of Napoleon's death. Some records suggest natural causes, while others hint at sinister intentions, leaving room for speculation and debate. Napoleon's indelible impact resonates through the ages, shaping continents, altering destinies, and sparking fervent debates that endure even today. We would like to hear your conclusions after hearing all the evidence presented in this video. Let us know in the comments below. In the wake of this captivating story, the lingering mystique of Napoleon's final days leaves us awestruck. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that like button to keep quacking along with us for more enthralling tales from history's cryptic corridors.